Judy Gebers.
And I'm Layne Gebers with Frontier Basement Systems.
Layne, we have a homeowner that is selling their house, and they had an inspection done, and the inspector found water in a crawl space. Why do they have water in a crawl space?
Well, most of the time when somebody calls us about a crawl space, it is because somebody's noticed water. A home inspector, cable guy comes out, termite guy comes out, and says, by the way, there's a little pond back there. And the thing is when you talk to them, everybody says, well, I got to get rid of that excess water. That can't be good, right? Well, there's two reasons you want to get rid of water. One is any area that it gets extremely wet and extremely dry, because that's the third component of a structural issue, is the dirt that it's sitting on. And when it gets really wet, it expands. And when it gets really dry, it shrinks and it loses its bearing capacity. That's number one. The second end of it is we got water sitting down there. We've got real high humidity just because we have a pond that's trying to breathe up into the house.
So what does an inspector look at?
What we're looking at is we need to get rid of that excessive water. And what causes it can be a lot of different things. If it's sitting on a hill, if it was waterproofed at all to begin with, most crawl spaces aren't, not even damp proofed. The way the slope is, if there was actually a provision when it was built to make sure that the excessive water could get away from the foundation, which is a code requirement.
So how do we know, after looking at it, where the water came from?
Well, in a lot of cases, it's going to come from a lot of different areas. I mean, if you think about it, a crawl space in most cases is lower than all the ground around it. You open the hole and it's lower. Mm-hmm. Well, how do you build a pond? You dig a hole and all the water runs into it. Kind of the same sort of thing. And so the same thing happens with a basement or a crawl space. It's how do I get rid of that water? Because I do not want a pond. I want a dry space. So we have to make sure the water passes on through, or we have to, if it's on a level lot, then we have to pump it. So, I mean, our job is really simple. We either direct water to a place and pump it out, or we direct it someplace so it doesn't cause any problems. It's really that simple.
It sounds a little easier, probably. I've seen the guys come back from work and it's a little less than just simple sometimes.
Yeah.
But a sump pump is something that you can put into a house, into a crawl space, just to pump the water out if they don't have the drainage, right?
Yeah, and people refer to as positive drains, and a really true positive drain is one, the word applies, it's positive, that it actually does run downhill, but it has to run to some place. So we can use sump pumps, but what you normally see is everybody talks about these positive drains. Well, the problem with them is there's no place to go. Just like you said, if it's a flat lot, there's no place for this water to go to, and it's lower than everything else that's there. So a lot of times the water will come back into it. So what we have to do is actually install a sump pump in the lowest area. And the other part is what Mother Nature gives to us, but if there's any leaks through all the other plumbing, we want that all to go someplace too that we can control it. So then we can actually put a pump in that's going to that's going to manage the water and make sure that it goes out and we have some way to get rid of it. The other way is actually go to a true positive drain that actually is lower than everything else around. It doesn't have to get 6 to 8 inches deep before it runs out of the pipe, or it doesn't run from the outside in, and it's going to run out and it has to go to daylight.
Okay, so it sounds like this homeowner is going to get taken care of. If you have any questions, please email us, and we appreciate you being with us today.